welcome back to What's Your Story? Again, I am your host, Guy Storybook. Today we have a very special guest with us today who claims that he climbed up into the clouds up a beanstalk. And the stories that he has to tell us are amazing and the things that he found. Please help me welcome to the stage, Jack the Giant Killer.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Thank you. Can I start and ask? You had to sell your cow, and you exchanged it for what?
Magical beans.
Magic beans. Tell us about that mysterious man you bought the beans from.
He was a weird guy in a weird costume thingy, and he was very suspicious.
So, was this strange gentleman selling anything else magical?
He was selling magic lamps and magic mirrors.
Magic lamps and magic mirrors. I'm sure that comes up a lot. Magic lamps and magic mirrors, but yet you went with magic beans. Why did you choose the beans?
They sounded a lot cooler.
It does sound a lot cooler. Magic beans. And what happened when these magical beans were tossed out the window?
Well, the next day they grew up into the sky.
Really?
Yes,
Way up into the sky?
past the sky.
Wow.
Over the clouds.
So Jack, tell me with some of the things you found up there.
Well, first I found a bag full of golden coins. And then I found a harp that sings.
A harp that sings, all right. And anything else special that you may have found up there?
The most magical thing of all
Yes?
was a goose that lays golden eggs.
So Jack, you're telling me that there's a goose that can lay a golden egg?
Correct.
I'm going to need some proof of that.
Yes, no one ever believes me.
Do you happen to have that goose handy?
Yes, I do.
Folks, as an exclusive, we have the goose that laid the golden egg. Jack, so please bring in this magical goose with the golden eggs.
I will.
So this magical goose, is there anything special that get the goose to lay a golden egg?
Yes, I can sing to it.
Oh, and can you do that song for us now?
Yes.
Okay, let's hear it.
Diddly daddle la doo doo, diddly daddle la dee.
That is indeed a golden egg. A solid golden egg. Are you telling me you get these every day?
Yes.
So how much do you think a golden egg is worth?
I don't know, but I can buy a lot of beans with it.
A lot of beans with a golden egg. So Jack, I understand that you met someone at the top of this castle
Yes.
beanstalk. And you're telling people it's a giant?
It was a giant.
And how tall was this giant?
It was taller than a tree.
Taller than a tree. And did this giant say anything when he met you, or did he say anything when he was looking for you?
He said, "Fee, fi, fo, fum. I smell the blood of an Englishman."
And you are indeed an Englishman.
Yes.
Great nose on a giant. Little things we find out during these stories. So the giant, can you describe, what did he look like?
He was an ugly green and had a nasty wart on his nose.
This is new information here, folks, that the giant was indeed green. Was he jolly?
Yes.
So he was a jolly green giant. So Jack, tell me what happened after you stole the goose.
Well, I was running down the path and carrying the goose in my arm,
Okay.
and I heard the giant
Yes.
yelling at me.
I bet he was very angry with you for stealing his goose.
He was, and he chased me about 30 yards, and we started going down the beanstalk.
At the same time, he was right behind you.
Yes.
Exciting, folks. And then what happened?
The beanstalk was swaying frantically, and when I got to the bottom, I yelled for my mother to grab the axe.
Oh, okay.
The giant was still about halfway up, so I decided to chop it down.
You chopped the beanstalk down, and then what happened?
Well, the giant fell down and broke his fall.
This giant must have left a huge hole in the ground. Well, what did you do after that?
Well, it was so big that we made it into a lake.
A lake, a giant lake. Maybe even a great lake.
Yes.
Great lake formed by a giant. So, Jack, do you have Any advice for the young children that may be watching if they come in contact with a giant?
Yes. Run. Run far away.
Excellent advice from Jack the Giant Killer. And that concludes another episode of What's Your Story? If you would like to find out more about Jack and his adventures, check out your local library. I'm your host, Guy Storybook, and thank you for tuning in for another episode of What's Your Story?